Welcome back after the break in our Expert Speak segment. Today I'm joined by Amitabh Jain, Chief Operating Officer, Star Health Insurance. Thank you so much, sir, for talking to ET Now and joining our show Insurance Mantra. Sir, just to begin with, because you are part of India's leading health insurance company, and most often the questions asked to us is about affordability of health insurance. Can you tell our viewers that what are the 3 tips you will give to our viewers to make health insurance premium affordable?
Thanks, Anurag, for hosting me. See, nowadays there are various options available for policyholders to get any kind of coverage at a different level of premium, and that allows people to choose between various covers, various options, which can be modulated to keep your premiums, affordable. Some of the options that I can suggest is that you can choose to go with co-pays or certain kind of sublimits or deductibles. But if you don't want that, then there are options available nowadays where you can choose the kind of network you will avail at the time of hospitalization. And if you choose to keep certain uh, high cost hospitals out of the network, then that can also bring your premium down. Apart from that, it is important that one joins health insurance at a young age, because again there are now product features that enable freezing your premium at a particular age if you don't claim. So if you are joining young, the chances are that you will not claim for a long time and the premium can continue at that same level. So that all of these features are good ways to prevent higher premiums.
Okay, sir. Sir, according to you, what are the 3 most important things should be kept in mind while buying a health insurance? Because generally, for new starters, those who joining their job recently, they keep asking us how much health cover should I take, and what all should be included in my policy, and what should be 3 main points they should consider while buying their health insurance policy.
I think very important question, Anurag, because it has become fairly complex with the number of products available and the type of features and coverages and the various terms and jargons that are used. But I think most important that people need to focus on is that what is the sum insured they want to choose. Okay, typically now with increasing costs in healthcare, and especially if you are in the larger cities, I would suggest that at least a 10 lakh sum insured is a basic requirement nowadays for starting your health cover. Apart from the sum insured, what you should be aware of is that what are the coverages, what are the waiting periods, are there any sublimits or is it open, what kind of payments will be made for, say, generally there are non-payables or consumables that are not covered in the basic policy. So is there a basic coverage in the policy itself, or is there an add-on available to cover that? And most importantly, the brand, the track record of the company in terms of claims, their network availability, how big is the cashless network available, what has been their track record, how long the company has been operating in this space, and all of these service features, not only related to claims, but even the policy servicing, what kind of wellness benefits that are offered, all of that are important to look at.
Okay. Okay, sir. So, 3 most important things one should keep in mind while buying health insurance, mentioned by Amitabh Jain. Sir, as you mentioned about waiting period, so just want to understand from you, what is the difference between waiting period and moratorium period? Can you explain this clearly to our viewers and policy holders?
Yeah, so waiting periods are, typically of 3 different types. One is an initial waiting period. So when you buy a policy, most of the covers will start, say, after 30 days. Generally, that's the 30-day waiting period. Apart from that, there are specific waiting periods for specific conditions, right? For example, it could be cataract, it could be ortho-related or some specific type of illnesses. And then there are pre-existing disease waiting periods, which is now, of course, maximum could be 3 years after last year's IRDAI circular. So those are waiting periods. What IRDAI also did in the benefit of all the policyholders is that last year's master circular made it a point that after 5 years, if a customer has been continuously covered for 5 years, that's the moratorium period, after which a claim cannot be denied for any pre-existing condition. So even if, say, that pre-existing condition was not known or was sort of not very obvious, and after a 5-year period, that cannot be a reason for denial of claim. So I think all of these features have actually benefited the customer and overall increasing the coverage for the customer.
Okay, so you mean to say that if somebody intentionally or unintentionally has not disclosed diseased while buying an insurance policy, so after 5 years, insurance company cannot deny the claim. Insurance company is bound to pay a claim after 5 years for that particular disease, for that particular ailment.
Intentionally, I would just are on the side of caution that if intentionally you are trying to hide something, it can create some issues later, because it becomes fairly complex to sort of determine whether this was done intentionally, more bordering on fraud or misrepresentation, or is it because someone genuinely left out or forgot to put or didn't realize that that condition has happened. Maybe something happened to you 10 years ago, and at that time you don't realize that it is really worth mentioning. That's a different kind of non-disclosure. But that, say, suppose last month itself you've undergone a test and you found out a particular condition, and then you come for insurance. So those are two different types of issues. So one has to be conscious of that.
Okay, sir. So my next question is, what are the most common exclusions in health insurance that people should be aware of before buying a policy?
So, I think the one we already discussed, waiting periods, people should be aware of. These are in the form of exclusions only. And the other is that they should be aware that most of the policies that are offered today are for hospitalization. That means that you have to be treated at a hospital for an illness, then only the policy will pay. So outpatient coverage is generally not there, so you should be aware of that. Also, sometimes people just get hospitalized for getting evaluated. So, that will not get covered in the policy. I mean, if only diagnostics or some evaluation is done, even though you might have got admitted for a day or so. So those kind of things are not there. And third, cosmetic surgeries and surgeries which are done only for the sake of, say, enhancing your looks or for other reasons, okay, which are not medically necessary. Those are not covered.
Okay, so my second last question is, sir, how does the cashless treatment facility work, and why it is always advisable to go for a cashless treatment instead of reimbursement? Because many a times that particular hospital is not offering you the cashless treatment and you end up paying money upfront and it get reimbursed by insurance company later.
Yeah, I think, you yourself sort of answered that question, that in a cashless arrangement, you do not have to pay upfront, right? And because of the arrangement of the insurer with that hospital, your entire admission process and the entire experience at the hospital will be much better than if you were to, go to a non-network hospital where you have to pay upfront from your pocket. Also, because in most of the cashless arrangements, the insurer has specific rate arrangements also, which ensure that the entire package for a particular procedure is already fixed. To that extent, there is no confusion or there's no query later as to why so much amount was spent or why this much had to be paid, etc. So all of that is taken care by the insurer directly. And most importantly, any specific issues that are there that have to be dealt between the insurer and the hospital, and the customer and the patient are sort of spared of all those troubles. So I think more and more we should promote cashless and ensure that people take advantage of that.
And sir, insurance companies are also in favor of cashless treatment because that suits them also. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, in the sense that it makes it the process much easier, right? And it is easy for you to also find out or look at any concerns right up front when the intimation happens. Because in a reimbursement process, sometimes it becomes difficult to find out those things, especially if people come pretty late without intimations.
Okay, sir. My final question is that, sir, what is OPD insurance? And one should go for OPD insurance for while buying a new health insurance policy?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the next sort of frontier, I would say, that the insurance industry needs to get to, because, if you look at most of us, the spends are mostly for outpatient expenses. We do not get hospitalized so often, but we all of us get sick sometime or the other, and therefore the requirement of insurance has to cater to both outpatient and inpatient expenses. And nowadays, outpatient expenses can be pretty severe, especially if diagnostics are involved. So now a lot of companies have come up with OPD add-ons, and some basic coverage of OPD in the form of teleconsultations and other wellness services is also built in most of the inpatient products. So this is a good movement. I think a lot more needs to be done for creating awareness, creating the right cashless networks for this, so that customers can avail some of these facilities easily and get advantage of such covers.
Thank you so much, Amitabh Jain, sir, for joining our show Insurance Mantra, and you have shared your insights on various insurance topic and what should be keep in mind while buying a health insurance. So that's it for this week's Insurance Mantra. But before we go, here is our insurance basic, our insurance did you know. The IRDAI has reduced the waiting period for pre-existing disease like diabetes and hypertension from 4 years to 3 years. Earlier, you had to wait 4 years before your insurer would cover such conditions. Now, after 3 years, your expenses for pre-existing condition will be covered either through a cashless treatment at network hospital or by a reimbursement claim. This change means faster access to health insurance benefit and greater peace of mind for policyholders. Choose smart, stay protected. That's our insurance mantra.